号小 Fredo 有。
Back Allies history was made last night in the NBA as it took 8 games for Klay Thompson to catch on fire. The all-star sharpshooter had struggled to get into a groove as he made just 5 of 36 shots from behind the three-point line through the Golden State Warriors' first 7 games. He changed that on Monday night, though, as Thompson made 14 three-pointers against the Chicago Bulls in the Warriors' win over Chicago at 149-124. The Dubs scored 92 in the first half, ridiculous, and Thompson also tied the NBA record for the threes in a half with 10. Thompson finished the game with 52 points in 27 minutes and didn't even play again after the 4:05 mark of the first quarter. Here is Thompson speaking about his performance and more to Chris Webber, Isaiah Thomas, and Kevin McHale on NBA Game Time, courtesy of NBA TV. We'll be back after that. Enjoy.
Speaking of
Klay!
wetters, speaking of jumpers,
Klay!
speaking of Band-Aids on the head, speaking of
Klay!
jump shots 11, and I don't even know where is Klay, man? What's going on, Klay? Congratulations, man, on a great night. If you don't know, you did something incredible tonight. You shot 18 for 29, but more importantly, 14 for 24 from the three, 52 points. I mean, great game. How do you feel, man?
I don't know, mixed emotions. Most importantly, I feel great though. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do this with my teammates. You saw it there in that third quarter. They were force feeding me the ball, and I'm lucky just to play with them. And I mean, I needed this. You know, I was not shooting the ball my best these first 7 games, but I knew I was due for a big night eventually.
Yeah, you were due for a big night, and I'm just going to take you back to your first statement. Mixed emotions. About what?
He missed 1 3. He missed the 3 he didn't want to miss. Zeke.
Yeah, I missed like 3 threes I didn't want to miss. I got a couple stitches. I'm a little tired, but most importantly, I'm grateful, and my adrenaline's pumping. You know, nights like this don't come around very often, so I'm just gonna enjoy it as much as I can.
Well, you're right. You know, Klay, nights like this don't come along very often. And, you know, the thing that I loved about it is that you just kept moving and you knew the ball was gonna find you. Just how much confidence do you have on your team that the hot man's going to get the ball?
That's the beauty of our team is, you know, we got 2 of the best shot creators in basketball, Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, one of the best point forwards out there, and Draymond Green, who's like a point guard. And then, you know, our new guy in the starting lineup, Damon Jones, is such a great floor spacer above the rim, sets great screens, and we're all in tune with each other to the fact that whoever's hot, we're gonna give him the ball. If it's K, we'll get him on the block, let him get in his ISO game. Steph will set that high pick and roll. But for me, my game is, you know, running around, coming off screens, and just trying to get my feet set and let it fly. You know, I don't take many dribbles. I don't even know how many I took tonight, probably under 15, but I perfected that part of my game, and that's what makes it special is we all have our unique ability to score.
Teammate and fellow Splash brother Steph Curry previously held the record with 11 threes before Thompson broke it. Here's Curry being asked about whether he tried to pass the ball to get Thompson the record and more.
No, I was the best screen setter out there today. Other than that, it was just more so anytime he's around you, you either set a screen or if you come in transition, you're trying to find him in rhythm. So, yeah, other than that, it was just kind of watching and just marveling at a guy that came in with the numbers he had from 3 to go 14. So there might be something about that. I think the night before I hit 13, I had 0 in LA. The next night I had 13, and then, you know, obviously what Klay's been going through the first 7 games to come out and hit 14, it's crazy.
He was also asked about what he said to Thompson at halftime about trying to get the record and more.
Actually, we weren't talking to him. It was like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter. It's like you don't really mention anything to him. It's kind of just everybody else figuring out ways we're gonna keep feeding him the ball and running our offense to obviously cater for him to knock down shots. So he has to be the one to make them.
Even Warriors coach Steve Kerr didn't have any idea that Thompson was about to break Curry's record. It wasn't until Thompson mentioned that he had only 2 threes left to break the record. Here's what Kerr had to say.
No, I didn't even realize what was happening record-wise until
They called a timeout. He had made a couple in the second half, and I heard Klay say, two more. And that's when I realized, and I didn't even know who had the record, and so I asked Steph, I go, do you have the record? He goes, yeah. And so I'm a little slow on the uptake on some of this stuff. I'm worried about the rest of the game, but at that point, the guys were just feeding him every time, and that's, I think that's how much they care about Klay, and all, felt for him because he's had a rough start to the season, and obviously he got it going tonight, to say the least.
Here's what Kevin Durant had to say about his teammate getting the record and more.
Yeah, everybody was encouraging him to keep shooting. He had 10 threes, and he needed 4 more, and we was, trying to call plays for him. We were looking for him in transition. I think our defense was able to kind of help Klay get going a little bit because we got stops and we was out running, and they were cross-matched, and the team's cross-matched, and we setting pin downs and pin ins to the three-point line. That confusion, it caused a lot of confusion. So, but the most important thing about tonight is that I passed it to him for his 14th. And I also passed it to Steph for his 13th. So, they wouldn't have made those shots without me.
This is an incredible night to what Thompson did, be able to get that record, and just for him to be able to do it after having a struggling season from behind the arc, especially not making a lot of threes, being 5 for 36 in his first 7 games of the team. Pretty crazy that he struggled, and then the next night he ended up doing what he did against the Bulls, even though not only that, what he did, 14 threes in a game, that's incredible, but also the fact that they scored 92 in the first half. Warriors, that's crazy. Think that something like that could be possible in real life. That's very video game-ish to be able to do something like that, and even video games sometimes can't be that great. It's incredible what the Warriors did, but Thompson specifically, since this was his night, 14 threes, incredible. He's had a lot of accomplishments in his career that are records, pretty incredible stuff. 37 and a quarter, who can forget that? 62 and 3/4, who can forget that? This guy could just flat out shoot and flat out score any given night he wants, and he's just a great shooter, and he deserves to get paid as well, but especially what he did last night. He's just an incredible shooter, and it's a shame that he doesn't get the recognition that his teammates like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant get, since they're two of the best players in the world. Thompson, he's not a great player. He's a good player, but he's a great shooter, though. And the fact is, he and Curry are the best shooting backcourt in history, NBA history, and him to be able to do what he did last night was incredible. And the fact is, he just wanted the record after 10 in the first half. Realized that was possible, and the fact is, he only needed 4 more, and even though he got the 4, it was so amazing to see what he did, and to be able to do kind of history like that. It just shows you the kind of talent he has. And it'd be a shame if the Warriors would be able to keep him and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, Draymond Green all together, because he definitely deserves to get paid. And we'll see if the Dubs are willing to pay him, because what he did last night, that shows you what kind of player he can be. He's got a lot of potential, like especially doing something like that. And he proven it before that he's had big games and doing stuff like that. Like I said, 37 and a quarter, 62 and 3/4. He could just get hot any night, and the Warriors, they're not selfish. If they see a guy's hot, they're gonna keep feeding him the ball until he cools down. And Thompson never cooled down, but the last couple of threes, he was trying to a little bit putting pressure on himself to try to get that record. And you even see the Bulls players were trying to guard him a little bit closer just to make sure he didn't get that record, but to no avail as he got the record. And congratulations to him breaking his old teammate's record. Like Curry said in the interview, that's pretty neat that a teammate would do it. He'd rather be nobody else, and that makes sense. And as Curry, he broke his own record, which he tied with Donnell Marshall and Kobe Bryant, which they had 12, all 3 of them, and then Curry broke his own record, and then Thompson broke this record. Goes to show you like how great of a shooter Thompson is, and Curry's like the best of all time, in my opinion, the best in the world right now for sure. And he's jokingly saying that he's going to try to break the record, and I think he could, because he's that great of a shooter, and he could definitely get 10 threes at any game if he wanted to, and especially if he had a good night. But what's funny is that, like Curry said in the interview, he got 13 threes after a night where he made no threes, and it's very similar stuff. Sometimes when you have bad nights from downtown, you end up having a big night just to make up for it, and Thompson did that big time by getting 14 threes. And he was still in the game after he had the record, even though the Warriors were blowing out the Bulls like all night, pretty much by 40 until late, because when you don't have the regular players in there, that makes sense for the score to be a little closer as a result. But the score was not indicative of how incredible the Warriors did, and Thompson getting 14 threes. That's incredible. Congratulations to him, and well-deserved record, too, to be able to do that. And it was such a big deal to be able to see that. And he did it with a headband, too, after he got contact with one of his teammates, with David Jones. Not David Jones, but one of his teammates there, and he ended up having contact with him, and as a result, he had the cut on his forehand, and he ended up having to get that last three with a headband, which is pretty neat to see. And not the cut, though, but at least that's pretty cool he did that with a headband, since he usually doesn't wear that. So, still, though, congratulations to him, well-deserved record, and that's neat that he did that, especially against a team like the Bulls. I'm sure it doesn't matter who you do it against, you just want to do it, and he did it, and he got it, and it tells you that in this day and age, like Curry said, records are meant to be broken, especially in a league that's very focused on three-point shooting. It goes to show you that these records can easily be broken, and records from threes in a game by a team have been broken many times, and this record has been broken a lot recently compared to what it was before, when it wasn't as much of a three-point shooting league. But still, though, not taking anything away from it, congratulations to him, and well-deserved. It was his night, and pretty cool that he got to break a record like that, that's for sure. And let's see if he can keep having big games like this. And even though that he's doing really good now, despite the fact he had all the struggles, the Warriors were still winning. It tells you how good of a team they are, that they didn't need those first 7 games at his best. But this one, he got it, and the Warriors paid off for it, and they capitalized. So congratulations to him, well-deserved, and pretty cool accomplishment to be able to do something like that, that's for sure. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like. If you are brand new, subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.